Good evening, one and all. Good evening, one and all. We welcome you all to the International Independence Day celebrations 2024, commemorating Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, nation celebrating 77 years of independence, and United Nations Sustainable Development Goals 2015 to 2030 in collaboration with Sri Holistic Health Foundation India and Sri Research Institute Center for Arts, Sciences and Well-being, and also on occasion of 78th Independence Day and also 77th anniversary of India's independence and 5th National Social Work Week, which is celebrated from 15th to 21st August 2024 by NAPSW. So before we start our sessions today, let's take the blessings of Almighty.
कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शत्रुबुद्धिविनाशाय दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः
With the blessings of Almighty, we shall continue with today's commemorations. And those presenters who have registered for their presentations are requested to share their details in the chat box so that we can invite you after these commemorations. And there is also an important announcement. As part of this International Social Work Week celebrations, that is, though it is national, but we all are celebrating who are there across the world, who are basically from Indian social work fraternity. So on this occasion, we are also organizing a skill development program, which is an essential skill as per NEP 2020. We are organizing financial literacy program, a webinar which is organized in collaboration with Association of Mutual Funds in India, which is a nodal agency appointed for financial literacy, awareness, and mutual funds in India. So they are one of the authentic sources for getting financial information and awareness. So they create a lot of financial awareness. And as part of that, we have invited them to our platform, and there will be an exclusive webinar for 1.5 hours or so, depending if there are any queries from the participants, you can ask and we can continue a little bit further. So we have a senior person addressing who has worked as director and also at various positions, and he has lots of experience of around decades. So he will be addressing the gathering, and he will be talking about the important skill. And that skill is not just limited to any one discipline. Why I'm mentioning it now? Because there is a huge gap between the skills required and the skills available among the unemployed. So why? And also, there is huge inflation across the world. We are seeing many countries are going bankrupt. The classical case of Somalia, it started with Somalia, where there was a huge struggle, and due to inflation, and we are seeing that Pakistan, Sri Lanka, Myanmar, and Bangladesh, and lot of countries which are around, India and across the world also. Even US also is facing now financial crisis. Of course, this is not new for America. It has gone bankrupt many times, and though still it is able to sustain because it has a different model, strategic model, that is through weapons and technology. So at any point of time, there is war and there is need of weapons and technology. So that is continuously, being supported. No matter which country goes, US is supporting them. So in that way, they are making huge, economy, funds raising, getting the finance required. Of course, these are various things. We are not getting into geopolitical and all those things. But what I mean to say is, for an individual also, it is very much required that financial literacy or financial awareness is also very important. You have to plan even before we are going for opting a child. And not only just a child, what I mean to say is, in this context, we have to plan for ourselves even before we have existed on the planet. So before conception itself, the financial planning should happen before the conception itself. In the last week and last couple of days, we were discussing about importance of breastfeeding, and lot of factors that are influencing the breastfeeding and various practices. And in that, one of the major concern was affordability, right? So today, many people are dying with hunger, and people are struggling for their livelihood. And even though people are earning good amount, but what is happening? People are not able to manage their finances, and we have seen a lot of bad debt that is coming, writing off that is happening, and many people are not able to repay their debts because of lack of financial planning, proper planning. And there is when we look at different aspects, because this is part of social work also, because once people get into this debt trap, there are a lot of complications, lot of factors that influence the overall health and well-being of the individual and also the family, because it's not only just trouble the individual but also the family and society and nation at large. So again, there will be a lot of implications of that. So that's why it is also essential that we learn minimum, we try to understand the financial aspects. We need to have financial literacy, and also we need to manage them. We need to plan effectively. And for that, we need a guidance. We need someone expert who is trained, who is qualified, or at least who have considerable experience, who can guide us, who can assist us in financial planning. See, often what our parents or grandparents, elders, because of their experience, they are very well guiding us. At the same time, there are new avenues opening up, and those new avenues are creating more opportunities, at the same time, more challenges. And especially, employment is considered more or less secure kind of income generation. But in that, there is only a consistent rise of income and wealth creation. But if you want to really become, rich, filthy rich, you have to take risks. And those risks have to be very calculated risk, informed risk, so that you know what you are doing, at what time you are doing, and what kind of investments you are doing, you are choosing. And if something goes wrong, whether you will be able to sustain. And based on the age factor also, it depends on, based on the income, profession, the kind of sector you are, the academic qualifications or skill sets you have, and the demand for such skill sets, all these influence, the financial stability of an individual and also of a family. There should be a continuous flow of income, because there will be a continuous flow of expenditure. So if we don't balance that, we are going to get into trouble. We all know that. And now there is also recent studies that is showing that people are getting into more debt traps, when these credit cards came into existence, and also more and more people are gaining access to these credit cards. And, because of these flexible minimum payment, many people are getting into this debt trap. And, they are in the redundant cycle of this interest, and they are going on paying and paying, because they just pay the minimum amount. In that, the principal amount is very meager and the interest amount itself is building up. So unless and until you clear the principal amount, the interest amount keeps accumulating. And every time you are paying majority of interest amount, so it will take a long time to clear. So again, whatever you are buying, again, that will add up to the interest. And again, there are a lot of other consequences. So it's very much important, whatever we are using, whichever instrument we are using, we have to have awareness, complete knowledge of what kind of instrument it is, and how it should be used and how it should not be used. Otherwise, we will get into issues. And we also need to carefully plan where to invest, how to invest, and when to withdraw or when to change the portfolios or the kind of invest, and how much to invest in which one, based on our income based on our expenditures, based on our savings, and based on the risk factors that we are able to take. Because everyone risk factor is different, and because everyone's resources are different, everyone income levels are different, and expenditures are different based on individual to individual. So accordingly, we need to plan. And recently, these studies, when UPI was popularized, UPI launched, and UPI was popularized, and everyone started using. Earlier, we used to keep off record of how much we are spending in our wallet. We used to check before going out. We used to count the money, all these currency notes and coins, and we are aware how much we have it, conscious. Bank also we are aware, but we are not so conscious about how much. We will not be so conscious about tracking the income and expenditure. But when we have limited notes and change coins or notes in our hand, we know how much we have and how much we are spending and how much is left, whether that is sufficient or not for other purposes. But when these credit cards came, when this UPI came, we are just going scanning, paying, scanning, paying, scanning, paying. So what happens? We are losing track of our accounts, our finances. Now, this is creating a lot of debt. Now, the first week, once the salary comes, we are full of, joy and excitement, and a lot of shopping goes on. First 2 weeks, and third week again, the difficulty starts. By fourth week, again, we'll be looking for funds. And by fifth week, we are taking again some hand loan or something like that. So again, this is not a general thing, but common for everyone. But most of the time, we see the last week of the month. Everyone, most of us keep saying, no, it's very tight because it is last week of the month and everything is exhausted, and I need to wait till my salary comes. So it depends on what kind of planning we are doing. And sometimes it happens that the moment salary gets into the bank and a lot of EMIs install, all these installments all eat up most of the considerate amount of salary or income, and you will be left with a very minimal thing. So why we call it as a multidisciplinary skill is it doesn't have a specific discipline, though it is a discipline of accounting, discipline of finance as such. But we are not doing, we are not trying to make ourselves experts in that. But the minimum literacy which is required, that is necessary. So the minimum knowledge level is necessary. So that's why even NEP 2020 also emphasizes on financial literacy and cyber security and so on, data security and so on. So as part of, not only even United Nations also emphasize on financial literacy as a life skill. So it is not just the, essential skill as per NEP, but it's also life skill as per United Nations. Because if you don't know how to manage your finances, that is income and expenditure along with savings, then you are going to be bankrupt, or you are going to run out of money for considerable amount of time. If it continues for a longer period, you cannot feed yourself, you cannot feed your family, and there will be, if you are still not able to manage for a longer period, then there is the most probability of hunger deaths or committing suicide or, different consequences. That's why, in whatever way it takes, minimum financial awareness, literacy is required for everyone, irrespective of any discipline. Whether one is some discipline or not, even unemployed, uneducated, doesn't matter. Everyone needs this financial awareness, financial literacy. So that's why we request everyone to register for that. And also we'll be giving certificates, and don't worry, there will be no formalities like here, though it is organized by us in collaboration, but we are very liberal in that, and there are no formalities like here in this policy. For that program, you have to just register through Google form and attend, and there will be a Google feedback form which is shared, and you can fill it, and we'll be giving you certificates. So no need to, there is no presentations as such in that, and only, there will be experts speaking on that. Depending on the time, there may be one expert or two experts, depending on the time. So, but all the topics which are mentioned in the title will be dealt with. So we request everyone, this is very much essential for everyone. So don't miss this opportunity. Everyone register and join the WhatsApp group so that we can remind you quickly when the session is going to start. And it is scheduled on 23rd of August, that is on Friday, same timings, evening 6 o'clock, but we have different link for that. So the link is also given in the invitation message, which is being circulated, and it is also available on the website, our website, where you can access, and we will also be sharing it in group every day. So no need to, once you have registered, no need to register again. And also do encourage even children also, let them join. You can join anyone, there is no limit, and you can join. You can request or invite friends also to join, so that everyone is aware, financially, aware of various financial instruments and financial planning, as it is one of the essential life skill. And we'll also discuss on various aspects in coming sessions. We'll invite some, experts in finances, and we'll also have some more sessions in coming days as well. But utilize this opportunity, everyone. Hope you might have received the link through WhatsApp. If not, we will also keep sending you mails. Kindly check your mail and ensure that the conference email address is added to your contacts. Otherwise, what happens? We are sending emails, and most of the time either it goes in bulk or spam or in some other email, and it is not sometimes always goes to the inbox or the primary, So, or you may be flooded, your inbox may be flooded with so many mails, and you may skip that. But that mails contains important information, timely information for you as a reminder. So ensure that conference email ID is added to your contacts, even the coordinator number, name, so that whatever mails, whatever communication you are receiving, you can attend to them. Otherwise, also, whenever you are attending any program, save that message, invitation message somewhere till you get your certificate. That is very essential, because if you want to look for your certificate, where you will look? right? And even if there is any support that is required, you also need the details of the event you have attended. See, what happens generally, why such kind of awareness is required, not only just financial, but we have to be conscious of, mindful, being mindful of what we are doing. If we are not being mindful of what we are doing, either it may be learning, either it may be teaching, either it may be doing some work, or either it may be some task that is performed. We have to be mindful, conscious of what is happening within us and around us. Otherwise, if we get lost somewhere and doing some work, there is a greater possibility of accidents or incidents. And because we are physically present and mentally absent. Otherwise, also, if you are not conscious, aware of the environment, there may be something in the environment that may cause, that may also be the risk factor for incidents or accidents. So that's why it is very essential for us to be mindful. And that's why even whatever you are doing, be mindful and properly keep that information till you successfully, get that. Until you complete that work, you keep information in hand. Wherever you save, you can save it properly and remember where you have saved it. And now that we have mobile phones, smartphones, we can save as notes, or we can put in email, or wherever you can store and access whenever you want. You can go back and refer. That's why every registration form you fill, you'll get an email with a copy of registration form. That's why. And registration form contains all the details, the links where to the website, particular event link, because website is same for all the events. But you need to check, there are various events that are happening. So you need to check which event that you are looking about. And you also need to know the formalities first, and the rules and regulations. Even when getting into some financial markets, or even see, when you are playing a game, even it may be the life game. Life is also a game which we are playing. We are performing roles. We need to know the rules of life. Otherwise, we'll mess up with our life. We don't know the rules. See, we need to go somewhere. Say, suppose to an office. What we'll do? We will find out where that office is located and how to reach that office, and what are different ways and means to reach that office from wherever you are, right? And also, what are the rules and regulations, any requirements or any instructions, regulations that are governed, and the kind of terms and conditions, everything we'll know, try to know as much as possible. Because once after reaching there, if you need something, then it may not be always possible. Maybe they might be having a dress code, or they might be having some requirements, prerequisites of learning something, or prerequisites of some knowledge, some skills that is required, or some training that is required, or some kind of reference that is required. So we need to learn whenever we visit some place or any platform, or whenever we are approaching to buy a product, or use a service, we need to know about it. At least, you need not know everything about the product, but at least the do's and don'ts and how that product should be used. Otherwise, we'll end up in messing with the product. And because of that, there might be hazards or there might be challenges or the productivity also may not be optimal and even the life of the product also may not be to that extent. And they may be prone to more maintenance or breakdowns. So that's why it is very important, whatever product, whatever service, whatever, we are looking at, that we need to take care that it is addressed adequately. And we have enough information, at least basic information, know how to switch on. When we are talking about an appliance, a machinery, we should know basically what is its input requirements, how much voltage or how much amperes it takes and what kind of socket it has and what kind of plug it has, so that it needs to be connected, plugged into the socket, and what kind of power supply and what wattage it is. Based on that, we need to adequately have this socket connected to the power source. And if required, a surge protection or more such features may be required for certain critical medical or sensitive, power sensitive appliances, even for systems, laptops, or medical equipment, and so on. So why this is essential? So that we can have optimum use of the appliances, optimum use of the product, and also to increase the life of the product or service, and also ease of use of using the product, and also in maintaining good condition of the product, and also in servicing the product. So, and it will also help you in a timely intervention. If you know basic things, you may need not know about entire processing, entire thing, but at least you should be able to say whether it is working or not, working properly or not, or if there is an issue or not. You should be able to identify it. Then, in that case, you will be able to intervene. So, what is a benefit? That you can intervene at a timely manner, so that the damage, so that the extent of damage can be reduced. So, cost reduction in maintenance, and product has longer life, or service, even if it is a service, it has a longer life and more efficiency. In a similar way, wherever we are going, whatever product it may be, we should know about them, basic things. See, why I take always example of our platform or our program is, in that way, I will be also able to share, and you also can relate to it. Because we all are on this platform. Even I have to follow the rules and regulations. Even for my certificate also, I need to fill registration form. Because we all are volunteers here. Even I need to fill the feedback form. And even then only I will be getting certificate. Anyway, I will be there. Attendance is not an issue for me, because I have to stay with, starting to ending. So only two requirements for me is to fill the registration form and fill the feedback form. And attendance is anyway, that is my responsibility to keep the platform going and the session going, being a coordinator and moderator. Anyway, I have to be there. I should be the first person and I should be the last person to leave. So that is taken care of. So even for me also, it is applicable. And I should know even which event today I have to organize. I should not put some other banner or some other, this thing and say, today we are organizing something else. I should never go wrong. See, these many years we are organizing. We have not even a single day we have gone wrong. We haven't put a wrong banner and said something wrong, other event instead of other events. Why? We are keeping track of that. We are aware of what is today. Either it is, because every day we have international webinar series. And as part of that, these all events are part of them only. So one day it will be conference, or some other time it will be seminar, some other time it is symposium, some other time it is workshop, some other time it is webinar. But I'm aware, or someone who is taking care of is aware. Our team is aware of what is happening today. And accordingly, we have to arrange all the things in the background and also the foreground, so that we are acting appropriately, we are taking action appropriately, and we are delivering appropriately, so that you also get the right kind of infrastructure and experience. I don't remember, I think many people are there who are attending regularly also. We never took something in my, years of these presentations. I never mistook anything, even a single time, if I remember. Because we know why? Because we plan it. We are aware of it. Of what is today, what has to be presented, what has to be conducted. If we are not fully aware, that where the problem comes. It sometimes happens because many times now we are not sending confirmation because of very short duration. But earlier, when we receive so many presentation requests, we used to send them an email, to call us back, or we used to call them also personally because there was enough time for us. So we were also calling them, and when we call or when we respond, they ask which conference. So they are not even aware of, they don't save the numbers. They don't, even when we send an email also, they don't say, at least keep track of to which email ID they have sent, where they have applied. And some people even don't know what paper they have applied. Now they themselves, after application, they keep asking, oh, when did I apply? Which topic I have chosen? Again, we need to open the application form and we need to give. Of course, these are all part of experiences, but slowly, gradually, that all were ruled out because that is consuming a lot of time and resources. And, things evolve over time. What I'm saying is, we also keep learning from our experiences, and we also try to optimize the resources. We cannot go on with the same thing. Oh, 10 years back, we are like that. Today may not be always be like that. Because when environment is changing, things are evolving, we also need to change. It doesn't mean that you change completely to some other person. No, never. The change, adapting to the environment, you be yourself, within yourself. You don't become something else altogether. You are yourself, but you are adopting, you are acting appropriately, you are behaving appropriately, you are thinking appropriately, retaining yourself. Some people completely change. You cannot identify a person who was there and his or she is transferred to something else. That is also a problem. That also creates an issue. When we lose, completely out of this sense and our own identity, it will create a split identity, or it will create an identity consciousness, or it will create an identity crisis. So all these things keep happening. And it is how we manage them, how we try to incorporate them in our day-to-day lives, in day-to-day activities, in day-to-day course. Even leave about other things. Even maintaining home, a homemaker has to be very careful, very diligent about his or her environment. It's not so easy, unless and until we plan, it will be a big chaos in the home environment. Have you ever, we all are experiencing that. What if early morning, if we don't wake up in time, just imagine, we'll be just running like that to catch up, to meet our timelines. Just imagine if you are not waking up in time and 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hours delay. Just imagine what would be your fate, or anyone's for that matter. So we'll be running out of time and we need to be just rushed out everywhere. And that can create a lot of problems. That's why proper planning is required for everything, so that we can keep track of time and also the efforts, the resources required, and accordingly to move forward. So in such a situation, to save time, to save resources, and to save not only our time and resources, but also others' time and resources, we have to be more conscious. We have to be more aware of more mindful of what we are doing, why we are doing, how we are doing, what we are doing. If you are not conscious, if you are not mindful of what we are doing, we'll end up messing up one or more things. And because of that, more time gets wasted, more resources will get wasted. Not only yours, but also others. That's why whenever we take something, we have to go through the instructions. We have to read the product manual or the pamphlet. Not nowadays, no one is giving. Earlier, we used to get big booklet for every product. There is a huge booklet that comes even for mobile phones also. Nowadays, there is not even a leaflet also. But earlier, I remember, quite long back, where initially mobiles were there, from that time onwards, a mobile manual used to be like a small, booklet with at least 50 to 100 pages manual. That is just user guide, not service manual. Service manuals, of course, was never given. It was only provided for some, laptops and desktops. That too in soft copy. Earlier, yes, that we need to pay extra, but that was just a user guide. How to use the menus, which menu is there, and how to replace the battery, how to open, how to close, how to shut down. Switch off, how to switch on, and how to check, insert SIM, and how to check whether signal is there or not. So all these in detail were printed and given, so that we know how to use it, and with a lot of precautions about battery, about how to use it, and where to use it, where not to use it, and what conditions to use it. Lot of precautions: keep away from direct sunlight or anything that is hot, and keep away from moisture, keep away from cold places, keep away from heavy radiation, and do not charge for longer time, because now we had these smart intelligent chargers and circuits that were able to disconnect automatically, and we have this trickle charge where automatically after 70%, 60%, whatever we set, the charging will start slowly. instead of normal charging. We'll start slow charge so that it will take more time to charge. And say that you have kept charging in the night, and by the time you wake up, after 1 or 2 hours, depending on charging capacity, if it is higher rating, it will just be over within hours, maybe 1 2 hours. Or if it is a low rating, it may take 4 hours, 6 hours. And after that, also it keeps charging, right? So that's why these mobile batteries and all, they bulge and they also blast because there is no cutoff. Battery gets heated up, and inside the liquid and all those chemicals get heated up, and battery gets bulged, and mobile also sometimes uh, gets short circuit and it may burn or blast. But now also even things are happening because of rapid charges, because of high wattage. What is happening nowadays? 30 watts, 60 watts, 80 watts, 100 watts charger. Earlier, it used to be, 1.5 volts, that is 1 watt charger, not kilowatt, 1 watt, charger that used to take around 5 hours, 6 hours to charge. Actually, that slow charging itself maintains the longer life of the battery. So nowadays, we are charging very fast because we don't have time. And the battery is also draining at such a rate because of lot of apps running in the background and all. So based on the requirements, why we are discussing all these things is, everyone's requirement is different. Everyone's productivity is different. Everyone's purpose is different. There may be similarities based on the kind of work they do, the kind of sector they are engaged into. But at the same time, if we are not aware of occupational hazards, why we are discussing all this is, we are talking about occupational health and also occupational hazards. Every occupation has its own hazards. Every occupation has its own requirements. Every occupation has its own skill sets. Every occupation requires certain amount of technical education. Every occupation requires certain amount of or certain type of theoretical academic knowledge. Sometimes it may be that education may be formal or informal. Formal through universities, schools, and so on. Informal by staying with someone and observing them and practicing hands-on experience. Generally, where the facilities are not available or where there is no provision for such a person to get trained official, that is formal. Through school, like adult education is there, vocational development is there, vocational education or skill-based education. Like there are different schemes, even short-term training, long-term training, and skill development programs, capacity building programs. Various programs are there to help them, guide them in a proper way, and also to certify them, and also assess them for the minimum eligibility criteria, minimum requirements, minimum standards. That's why whatever we are doing, either it may be writing, it may be reading, or whether we are applying, whether we are attending, we should know basic things. Otherwise, we will end up in, something which is not complete. And because of that, we'll also be not able to complete it in time to that optimal level. So we'll be keeping wondering and, because you have time, because for you it is priority. Others may not have time always, because others' priority is something else. And they also have certain priorities, certain tasks to be performed. And you have also something to be performed. You have some tasks. And they might be doing multitasking, they might be doing so many things in the same time frame. Everyone has 24 hours, so no one has even a second extra or second less, right? When we all have the same time, what is happening? We all need to manage the same time within our priorities and within the available resources, whether it may be financial resources or materialistic resources or something, whatever resources we are talking about or that is required. We need to be conscious, we need to be aware of such requirements and the resources we are in possession, in stock, that can be utilized by us. Otherwise, what will happen? There is a deficit and you may not be able to complete it. Or sometimes you may not be able to take it up, right? So that's why whatever we are doing, be mindful of that. If we are not mindful, then we'll face a lot of challenges. And we also not be in a position to understand where what went wrong. And we'll be just keep wondering on that and we'll just lose out ourselves. Instead, start working again from scratch. Check each step where it has gone wrong. If there is an opportunity for redoing, always redo it. Once after learning, you redo it. No problem. If there is an opportunity, you know where you have done mistake. Though it might be a repetition, but at least the next time you might be doing perfect, or at least to the minimum requirements. So don't hesitate. But before redoing it, make sure you know what you are supposed to do and whether you are doing it correctly or not, whether you are doing it timely or not. If you are not doing, see, many people keep doing things, but at their own convenience. That's fine. That's nothing wrong. Doing at their own convenience. But at the same time, that convenience should not be a time bound. There should be no time bound. If it is time bound, then we will lose out. Whenever there is a time bound activity, we need to complete it within the time. Otherwise, what will happen? We lose that opportunity. And there is no point in regretting again. We know that if we don't do it, we'll not be able to get it. Then what is the point of, grieving on that? So if that is important, that is priority, we should ensure that we are aware of it and informed decision has to be taken and it has to be implemented. And we have to be prepared of the consequences. And most of the time we are only aware of the decision we are taking. And that too, whether it is an informed decision or just a decision taken without consciousness of at least the minimum consequences. Often we end up saying, doing it again or losing it, or there are some other challenges, issues that has come. So always be mindful of what you are doing so that you are consciously aware and you minimize the risks, hazards, and if there are any challenges that can be attended in appropriate way, appropriate manner. So that we can use our limited resources, that is our time, money or whatever financial is there, or whatever materialistic resources are there at an optimal level. So we have to be aware of the occupational health and also occupational safety and also the occupational hazards. Every occupation has unique hazard, and we also need to be aware of the risks associated with such organizations, not only just in terms of finance or health or property or anything, but also beyond. So here we will stop, and once again we are inviting those who have registered for their presentations or for any cultural activity. Feel free to share your details in chat box. We can invite you. In the meanwhile, while if anyone registered is available now and sharing the details, we'll go to commemorations and come back. So today we are commemorating World Honeybee Day internationally on August 17th. So it is celebrated every third Saturday in August. It is a day that reminds us of the beauty and value of bees. There are 20,000 different species of bees all around the world. So this day is a time to celebrate the importance of bees in our world. It also helps create an awareness of the dangers that honeybees face. It suggested ways of solving the problem. Even bees also are facing a lot of challenges and problems because of these human activities. The first World Honeybee Day was held in 2009, and it has since grown in popularity. This day is intended to promote beekeeping, but it also exposes a lot about honeybees. Honey's sweetness is often celebrated during this season. It is used in some of the most delicious, delectable dishes found all over the world. Honey has a worldwide appeal and is frequently used as a metaphor for fruitfulness in literature. Since the earliest civilizations, honey that has been used as sweetener for all sorts of food. So the method of collecting honey was sometimes painful. The people still happily took the risk. The importance of honey was not limited to edibility alone. It has been used as a preservative and for treating certain ailments. The benefits of honey quickly sparked the desire for beekeeping, and the method and upkeep improved as time went on. After a comb harvest, a man named Lorenzo Langstroth discovered a way to keep the hive going in the West. So bees were also discovered to have significant role in pollination. Because pollination is so crucial to us, this has drawn a lot of attention to the role of bees. So World Honeybee Day is a day dedicated to raising awareness about the honeybee's numerous advantages. It's a day to celebrate beekeeping and encourages you to learn more about it. However, it is also a day that reminds us of the worldwide extinction of bee species. It's a day that encourages us to think about our impact on the environment. So anyone who is interested can learn the craft of beekeeping and have your own hives, and you can become a beekeeper. The number of bees in a colony can rise up to 80,000, depending on the infrastructure and the feasibility Honeybees only sting when their colony is threatened. Generally, honeybees are harmless. But if they are feeling threatened, then they will sting you. So you can decorate your garden with nectar plants to attract bees, which will harmlessly come for the nectar and go, unless and until you bother. And they will also bother you with a sting, a return gift for you. You can also learn about honeybees a lot on this World Honeybee Day. This will also educate you on what you can do to assist in the conservation of bees. There is no other day to better appreciate the many delicacies that are embellished with honey. It is fun to enjoy three delicacies with family and friends. Honey has several health benefits, which is widely and effectively used to treat several ailments. Honey is natural sweetener. Honey is considered one of the best sweeteners and beverages and other foods. Several delicacies are baked or cooked with honey. Because bees eat on different types of nectar plants, honey has a variety of flavors. When honey is well preserved, it can remain edible for thousands of years. It is important to understand the importance of bees in our ecosystem. Especially on World Honeybee Day, we can learn more about our responsibilities towards the bees. When bees visit your flowers to get nectar, they also pollinate. Because they pollinate, you will get the flowers, fruits, vegetables, and so on. Without pollination, you cannot get it. So this day encourages us to attract more bees. So more pollination, so more yield. There are so many delicacies made with honey. On World Honeybee Day, let's try to enjoy as many of these delicacies as we can. Today is also commemorated as International Geo-Coaching Day, which takes place every third Saturday in August, this year on August 17th. It is a full of enjoyable outdoor activities. Today, people of all ages gather together to commemorate the placement and discovery of geocoaches all around the world. Geocaches. Every year, new people join the activities, and the quest for geocaches is always a lot of fun. And there's no telling what kind of surprise you will when you find the geocaching. Geocaching is a modern iteration of the older treasure hunt called letterbox. Clues are planted in various locations leading up to the letterboxes. Mostly, there's a notebook in the box waiting to be stamped by the finders. This is also an integral part of geocaching, whereby a logbook is signed by those who find the caching. Geocaching is born as a result of general public's access to GPS. Dave Ullman planted the first geocaching on May 3rd, 2000. The cache, according to Ullman, was a black plastic bucket filled with software, DVDs, books, money, a can of beans, and a slingshot. With millions of geocaches hidden across the 7 continents, one hobby has exploded in popularity. Geocaches have been found over 600 million times since our beginning in 2000. Hundreds of organizations have gathered behind geocaching activities, creating thousands of events everywhere. And on International Coaching Day, these events reach a peak as more people get an insight to the game. So no matter where you are in the world, you can log on to the websites that have geocaching listings posted by someone like you or me. Like this event you today, we are also commemorating, so you are part of it. And then you can begin the hunt using the GPS device. A number of objects that can be located within the geocaching is limited. The most significant component is usually a log, which is kept in a waterproof container. It is so geocaching begins with the placement of weatherproof box that must contain at least a logbook. Then the location must be listed on popular geocaching websites. We only need a GPS enabled device to locate the geocaching. Then you need to go out and explore till you find the location. It is important to first sign the logbook and confirm this on the website as well. If there is any item that you desire, you can take it and replace with an equally valuable item. The act of hiding and finding a geocache is thrilling. It entails getting outside and exploring new areas. So go ahead and have some fun. It's always interesting to learn new things. On International Geocaching Day, you learn more about GPS coordinates, which can lead you to new treasures. Items like geocoins, cameras, pictures, and many others can be found in the box, which are sentimental items in the geocaching. The first geocached items were found by Mike G. It is actually very easy for you to start the treasure if you understand GPS coordinates. Geocaching is everywhere. There are geocaches on every continent and is more than 190 countries. So many people are involved. Many people are involved in this hunt. There are more than 600 million logs recorded for found geocaches since it began in 2000. Today is also commemorated as International Homeless Animals Day, which falls on every third Saturday in August, which will be August 17th this year, and is honored with events and increasing participation every year. The International Society for Animal Rights introduced the day to spread awareness about pet overpopulation and has done meaningful work since, including saving the lives of millions of animals. The histories of animal rights and shelters have long been intertwined. It was in the 1870s that animal protectionists began to see the lives of children and animals as similarly vulnerable and in need of protection and SPCA and anti-cruelty. the 20th century, the histories, even before that, the histories of animal rights and shelters have, long been intertwined. It was in the 1870s that animal protectionists began to see the lives of children and animals as similarly vulnerable and in need of protection. And SPAs and anti-cruelty laws began to be established through, though animals were defined as poverty, cruelty was still an offense. The same goals and guiding values remain prominent in the animal shelters and animal rights groups today as people continuously fight for better legal and physical protections of our furry friends. In 1986, the passage of the George Animal Protection Act provided for the licensing of kennels, animal shelters, pet stores, and stables, and was the first legislation to demand a minimum standard of care for animals housed in these facilities. This was a huge win for animal rights groups and the provision and act, respectively, that expanded animal rights uh, was the humane 1992, the International Society for Animal Rights conceived International Homeless Animals Day, in short known as IHAD, which has only grown in popularity by year. ISAR offers events from dog walks to adopt-a-thons to animal blessings on IHAD, and many volunteers participate. So today and every day, we all can be voice for homeless animals and help mitigate their suffering. Today is also commemorated as Slovenians in Prekmurji incorporated into the Mother Nation Day in Slovenia. It is also a kind of independence for them. Slovenians in Prekmurje incorporated into Mother Nation is celebrated annually on August 17th. Prekmurje is a region of Slovenia located between the Mur River in Slovenia and Ruba Valley in the westernmost part of the Hungary, while retains certain specific linguistic, cultural, and religious features that distinguish it from other Slovenian traditional regions. So this is also a public holiday, the Republic of Slovenia, but not a non-working day. On this day, the Slovenes gather in Pokmutre to celebrate their liberation from Hungarian. So this is also a Republic Day of Slovenia, but not a non-working day. On this day, Slovenes gather in much to celebrate their liberation from Hungarian supremacy and becoming part of their native country, Slovenia. There is also commemorated as National Mashups Day in US, which is celebrated on August 17th, and it recognizes the second of 13 original New England colonies and the sixth states to join the Union. The state recognizes its name. There is also commemorated as Indonesia Independence Day, which is celebrated on 17th August each year. This day commemorates Indonesia's declaration of independence from the Netherlands in 1945. The annual day is formally known as Hari Ulang Tahun, Kemerdekaan Republik Indonesia, abbreviated as throughout Indonesia. Preparations for national holiday begins about 3 weeks before the actual date. Buildings don conspicuous red and white bananas and blown decorations. Malls wear the national red and white colors are offered. Special Independence Day sales and discounts. There is also Gabon Independence Day. Gabon Independence Day is celebrated August 17th annually. This day marks the establishment of independent country when, after more than a country, Gabon claimed its liberation from France. On this day, locals hold festivities, concerts, parades, and firework displays as a reminder of this freedom. It is also a good day to educate younger generations and pass on the rich history of the country to make a feeling of freedom come alive, to pay respect to their country's Independence Day commemoration. Today is also commemorated as Non-Profit Day in US, which is commemorated on August 17th each year to recognize non-profit organizations' ongoing efforts to serve local communities. If you have ever volunteered, you are well aware of the significance of these charitable organizations. Non-profits throughout the country work to promote awareness and other offer assistance to individuals while others would not be able to afford it. Their activities contribute to the shaping of our society and private. So non-profits throughout the country work to promote awareness and offer assistance to individuals who otherwise would not be able to afford it. Their activities contribute to shaping of our society and promotes hope for a better future. So today is also commemorated as Baby Boomers Recognition Day, US especially, which is celebrated every year on August 17th, as we are thrilled to honor a generation of people who are among the largest, if not richest, in the country. Baby boomers are those who are born in between 1946 to 1964, or simply boomers refer to the demographic born after the silent generation, that is 1928 to 1945, and before Generation X, that is 1965 to 1980. This generation, which is now between the ages 57 and 55, represents those born during the post World War II baby born. In 1946, almost 3 million infants were born in United States, breaking the country's birth record, although the phrase has been used beyond the US, its cultural connotations and demographic context differ. It was initial, this day, Baby Boomers Recognition Day was initially held in June. It was moved to August when boomers across the country agreed that it clashed with the Father's Day celebrations. Boomers have found memories of those early years when they rocked the world. They were named for the increasing birth rate and occurred during the end of World War II. The baby boom during that time was caused by the economic upswing and a desire for normalcy following the war and Great Depression. So the event, which is a 3-day music event from August 15 to 18 in New York provided the boomers with ideal opportunity to convey their message of love and peace while enjoying some amazing music. That moment has now become a defining milestone for the baby boomers generation. There is also commemorated as Black Cat Appreciation Day. Could be used as a good spin doctrine. They are so sleek and seductive with their all-knowing yellow and green eyes, but black cats seldom get positive press, even though they are just adorable as other cats. There are a lot of superstitions associated with cats. Have you ever feared a black cat crossing your path? This is formed from ancient superstitions where people thought this meant bad luck. For many centuries and historical settings, black cats were actually meant for positive things. So, to try and dispel these myths about black cats, National Black Cat Appreciation Day was created to be celebrated on August 17th every year. Today, pop culture loves black cats. There's the sarcastic Thackeray Binks in Hocus Pocus and Salem in Sabrina and Teenage Witch. We can't forget the classic cartoon Black Cat, Luna and Salute Moon. Black cats are seen as loyal companions, and this is what they were seen as for a lot of cultures in history too. So who's to blame for this negative black cats superstition? But mostly because during the Middle Ages, people, mainly the Catholic churches, saw witches as shape-shifting black cats, and the damage was done. From then on, black cats were seen as evil entities for years and years to follow. So, but not everyone sees black cats that way. In fact, black cats are actually welcomed by a lot of people. For some, a visit from a black cat means good luck, and for others, it meant prosperity or romance. In some cultures, black cats are even worshipped. Basically, there's no need to fear them. And this day celebrates the cuddly friends no matter what the color their coat is. And finally, coming to last commemoration, this week is commemorated as National Heritage Week in Ireland, which is annually held from the second or third weekend in August to the following weekend. It takes place from August 17th to 25th after 2 years of a different format. It is part of European Heritage Days and is one of the many successful and popular programs that are run by the Heritage Council. The aim of European Heritage Days is to raise awareness of the built natural cultural heritage of European countries. Ireland's National Heritage Week is no exception and is a week full of events celebrating the history and culture of emeraldism. So National Heritage Week has been organized and run by the Heritage Council of Ireland since 2005. From the start, the council has been supported by the Department of Environment, Heritage and Local Government. Over the course of the last 15 years, the council also partnered with local organizations. These include the Local Authority Water Program, the Irish Landmarks Program, and the Design and Crafts Council of Ireland. There is support in the form of government backing and partnering with local organizations. National Heritage Week has grown into a huge successful nationwide initiative that encourages within the community and builds it up. So in 2021, there were more than 2,000 events held across Ireland within the week. The events were a mixture of individually and officially organized. There were small family and friend experiences that were shared online via social media of archives, and large-scale events got entire towns and cities involved and participated. So Heritage Council's official websites, there are archive full of projects These are events organized by locally rich citizens and submitted to the council for them to keep a record of. The archives are a repository for previous year events. The entire point is to keep a record of this celebration because in celebrating Irish heritage, the cities are also building on it. This recent shift was to create online conversations, projects, and research history. All of it pertains to National Heritage Week. It shows that week is about uniting the country in their shared heritage and beautiful outdoors. There is also acknowledgement of how technology and online spaces are the way forward. There are hundreds of monuments and relics of the past in Ireland, and they need your support. If you have the money and inclination, they consider adopting an Irish monument and contributing towards the restoration and upkeep. It's only through a combination of government and civic efforts that the heritage of the country can be properly preserved. Around 80% of the Ireland is an independent country, while the remaining portion of Northern Ireland is part of the UK. About 15,000 years ago, the entirety of Ireland was covered with glaciers. There are no wild snakes in the Ireland due to the country being landlocked and preventing non-flying animals from migrating there naturally. So no snakes there. Ireland has been the site of some scenes in blockbuster movies like Star Wars. Ireland is one of the biggest exporters of potatoes, lamb, and beef. With so many events during the week calling for community and family involvement, there is no shortage of community bonding. This creates a stronger and healthier community overall. Heritage Week is also a great time for learning opportunities. If you are curious about Ireland's history and culture, it's also a great time for teaching moments. If you have kids, now it's a perfect time to teach them more about their Irish heritage and what exactly it means to them and their future. So with this, we shall end the commemorations and a final call if you have any presentations or any presenters registered for presentations can quickly share your details in the chat box so that we can invite you for presentations. Utilize the opportunity and anyway, see, someone will utilize this opportunity, but we want everyone to come forward and take this opportunity. If there are no further presentation, then we shall conclude it here. So don't forget to register yourself for the upcoming webinar. So we request everyone to quickly fill up the feedback form, which has been raised in the form of polls before leaving the platform. Once you fill the feedback form, you can leave the platform. See you all tomorrow. Thank you everyone for joining us in these celebrations. Take care. Good night.